Welcome back. So in today's video we are going to be doing a makeup tutorial on the look that I'm wearing right now, and I will be using again the Natasha Denona Sunset palette. If you guys haven't seen my previous video where I talked to you guys about this and let you guys know like my thoughts, I will link that down below and somewhere here in a card. I did want to do like two separate looks and give you guys like my full opinion on this palette using like every shade. So that's why I did two separate looks, which you guys will see this palette a lot on my channel this month, and probably like for the rest of my life, because this palette is expensive. It's expensive. Okay? It's expensive. It's not as expensive as her other eyeshadow palettes, but you do get more shades in that palette, so I mean like, I guess it's like worth it. And she also does have, I think there are 5 eyeshadows, 6 maybe. No, I definitely think it's 5. She has like a 5 eyeshadow palette. I know this palette is expensive, and I know that by the time this video goes up, Sephora should be having their VIB and VIB Rouge sale, so you can get it for 20% off at Sephora. Or you can go on beautylish.com. That's actually where I bought mine, and I am paying monthly payments for this palette. It sounds so weird, like I'm paying a monthly payment for an eyeshadow palette, but I feel like I would rather that than, you know, go broke in one lump sum by spending the money on the palette, you know what I'm saying? So what Beautylish does is when your order is over an X amount, if your cart is over a certain amount of money, you could pay monthly payments, but they will still send your product out right away. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop rambling now. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you love makeup just as much as I do, we can hang out together. If you do like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you guys want to see how to get this look, then let's just go ahead and get started. Hi guys, so we're going to go ahead and do the eyes first. So I'm just priming them with my concealer. I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Neutral, cleaning underneath the brows, priming the lids, setting it with some translucent powder. And now we're going to go ahead and grab the Natasha Denona Sunset palette. How gorgeous is this palette? So the first shade we're going to use is the shade Horizon, and I'm grabbing this on a Morphe R38 brush and just blending this into the crease. This shade was pretty easy to blend, and I did dip into this shade about 4 times, but I did want the transition shade to be pretty intense, so it all just depends on you. Next, I picked up the shade Sinai, and I'm using this on a Morphe M433 brush, and I'm just throwing that lower into the crease right underneath the first color. Next, I just switched over my brush using the same shade Sinai. This is a Morphe E28 brush, and this brush is just more tapered, and I wanted that color to be more precisely into the crease. So that's why I just switched over to a more tapered brush so we can get it right into the crease. And I'm just building that color up until we get it as intense as I want it to be. And I'm just going back in with that same brush we used with that first shade to blend out any harsh edges. Now we're going to go ahead and start to cut the crease. So I'm grabbing the shade Pangent, and I'm grabbing it on a pencil brush. This brush is similar to a Morphe E36. It's just from a different Morphe collection. And I'm just throwing that precisely into the crease. And as we build this color up, I'm going to start blending out the edges. So it's still blended, but it's still kind of our sketch for our cut crease. Then I'm just picking up and I'm mixing on the same brush the shades Igneous and Volcano. And I'm just doing the exact same thing we did with that shade before this one. We're just sketching it out, really building up that crease area, and then I'm going to go back in with Pangent, blend out any harsh lines. I'm trying to really build up the crease and blend it out before we go ahead and cut it. It's going to make your life way easier. And now I'm just picking up a pencil brush with Volcano just on it by itself, and then I'm mixing a little bit of Pangent in so we can get that line that is technically our cut crease really blended out. I really hope that made sense. Moving on to cutting the crease, I'm grabbing my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I'm using a Morphe M508 brush. This brush is so tiny and precise, it's going to make cutting a crease a lifesaver. So I'm just doing really short strokes with the concealer on my brush, and I'm really carving out my crease area. I do have hooded lids, so I do have to technically bring the concealer a little bit up to fake the appearance that I have more lid space. And if you got some shadow on your lid, don't worry, this part is where it's going to be cleaned up because we are adding the concealer, and I'm just really carving out that end and I'm really swooping it, if that makes any sense. Now we're going to go ahead and pick up the color Soul. This is the beautiful yellow in the palette, and this color is pretty much what inspired me to do this whole look. So I'm just throwing this into the inner third of the eye. I'm blending it in towards the center of the lid, but I'm just kind of sticking it in the inner corner area. And now I'm grabbing the shade Sundazed, and this color is just going to stay in the center part of the lid. And I did apply it with my finger and a brush, and I just felt like it was just way too chunky, even though I did try to build it up. So I did have to go in with some glitter glue. I just added a little bit of it sparsely, and now I just went back in with the shade, and it just intensified the shade even more. So I was just going back in with Soul in that center shade to really make the two blend together. I did accidentally get that center shade into the crease where we did cut it just a little bit. So I just picked up some Volcano on that same pencil brush and just blended it out. And then don't forget to set that outer corner area because we are not adding shadow there. Next, we're going to go ahead and move on to the face. I did throw on Flutter lashes, Intoxicating lashes on off camera. For the face, I'm going in with my Smashbox Primerizer and my Makeup Forever Step 1 Base Smoothing Primer. And I'm just going to go ahead and set everything with my Smashbox Primer Water. For foundation, I'm mixing together two completely different shades of the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth and Matte and Poreless. So I'm just throwing that onto my face and I'm blending it out with this Pure Cosmetics flat brush. I don't really know what it's called. So once I have my base down, I do pick up a little bit, just the tiniest bit of the Matte and Poreless foundation just by itself and throwing that in the center area. Just adding a little bit more coverage and kind of lightening that area up because the Matte and Poreless shade is actually the lighter of the two that I used. For concealer, I'm going in with Shape Tape, of course, and I'm just throwing that underneath the eyes, around the nose, and the center of the face. And I'm just going to blend everything out using this Pure Cosmetics sponge, which, by the way, is my new jam. So before we set any of the concealer, I want to go ahead and add this Liquid Glow. This is by Anastasia, and this is in the shade Perla. And I'm just throwing that right on the highest points of the cheeks. Now I'm going to go ahead and set everything. I'm going in with the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores translucent powder, but when I applied this, it just made my skin look really, really dark underneath the eyes. So as you can see, I was not having it. So I picked up my NYX Contour Kit and I grabbed the two lightest shades and set everywhere I put concealer. For bronzer, I'm using the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer and I'm applying that on the outer perimeter of my face. As you can see, I was feeling myself. For blush, I picked up a little bit of Tarte Captivating Blush, threw it on the apples of my cheeks, and then just blended everything out with a dual fiber brush. For highlight, I'm going in with the DesiXKaty Fuego highlighter with Dose of Colors, and I'm just throwing that everywhere I did apply the liquid highlighter. It was appearing a little bit too dark, so what I did was I just kind of went over it with the damp sponge and then added a little bit of the Artist Couture Illuminati Diamond Glow powder. Jumping back to the eyes, I'm grabbing this Nars Larger Than Life liner in the shade Via Appia and throwing that on my lower waterline. And I'm grabbing the shade Igneous from the same palette and pushing that up against my lower lash line. To blend that color out, I'm mixing together Pangent and Volcano so we have a nice dark and smoky lower lash line. I'm then just picking up the shade Horizon, that very first shade that we use, and further blending out the lower lash line. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pop on some lower lash mascara, and this is what the eyes look like all complete. For the lips, I went in with the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade London, applied that to the lips, and then I went over it and added some gloss. This is the DesiXKaty Dose of Colors over the top gloss, and I just threw this right on the center of the lip. Once I did that, this look is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below because I absolutely love this look. Favorite look probably by far that I've done. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe before you leave. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I love you. See you in my next video. Bye.
To the right, drop it down low and take it back high. Bitch, I don't need introduction. Follow my simple instruction. Bitch, I don't need introduction.